Rutgers student, sits down, apologizes that the wife was so furious at him for buying the pool that she didn't even want to come to the office. So he's sitting there, and he said, I got a problem with this house. The roofs, I looked it up when I went home, the roof's sagging, and it just looks terrible. And I said, well, let me line up the facts for you. So I looked up, guy's stellar in his payments. I called Garland, he gets the asset manager out. Turns out, I didn't know, but not only had the guy committed to replacing the roof, he had 90 days to do it according to the code enforcement, and they were working with him. Garland actually got a policy on it.
The house was condemned.
It was actually condemned when the guy bought it, knowing it was condemned, knowing he had the ability to roof it, and committed to the time frame. I said to the asset manager, go check and make sure he's complying, and he has. So he's on the phone, verified that. It's insured, which I was proud of Garland for doing that. I didn't even know that existed.
We put up a construction bond.
All right.
Because the city required it.
And then in the process, the guy decided to replace all of the electrical and all the plumbing.
Wow.
So in the short time that he had it, the guy's performing, not living in the house. He's now replumbed, he's doing, so when I start saying, wow, why would he do all that to this house? Well, we only sold it to him for, what was it? It was like $38,000 or something? Well, on the contract. So I'm looking at this and I said, well, wait a minute. So I start calculating, looking up the comps. I said, your house is worth $100. You know how much this house is worth? He goes, yeah. He knew what it was worth. But he was worried about that roof and worried about, he didn't even know about the internal stuff. This house was worth $180,000+. It's got a mother-in-law's quarters in the back that I didn't even know existed. And the market's a great neighborhood in Muskogee, Oklahoma. I said, really, you want to talk about the roof? He's like, no, we're good. So, we're not just selling you real estate here. We're selling you really a master plan. And that's why we call Kingdom First Holdings a wealth building organization, because it's a system. It's not just a property. It's what it works.
This balance, this is the note, and this is what we're selling, so that we're conscientious that there's a spread for you, right? But we're also conscientious that when that end buyer buys that house, putting his or her sweat equity, there is equity for them. That's because we don't, and that's why he says that, yes, we don't care about what the roof or thing is, but we do inspect it. The asset manager has to do it, and we take that into account, the price and the payment for that guy, so that they're happy, they know. Because today, what I always talk about is, listen, you and I are not the only two smart people. Everybody has access to Google. Everybody has access to Google, and they're not idiots. They may be lower echelon, but they're not idiots. They go to Zillow, and they can find out instantly what that house is worth. And so they're making the decision, wow, if the house is worth $100,000, and they're selling it to me for $3,000, then I can put all my sweat equity, and I want to keep this house. This is going to be my home. So we create this win-win-win all the way. And really, in this chain, the people who make the least amount of money, if you take the dollar for dollar, is us. Because we're moving the fastest, because all my students, like I said, the guy I gave you example with in Panama City, the guy bought the Vermont house, and for $30,000, it's worth $125,000, and then we reevaluated the triplex, it's really worth $168,000, so we're changing all the signs and stuff. All of a sudden, I get a call. This guy barely says, I don't have any money. Now he says, he wants to buy, what kind of $100,000 package do you have? All of a sudden, he found $100,000 that he did, because it's all about people, their comfort level, their comfort zone. That they know his first one is always the hardest. Yeah. So when he did it, and then we could have bought it back from $125 and sell it for $168 and keep all the difference. We did it for him. So those are the things that are earning us the trust that we're in here committed to your success, because we want you to come back next month and buy your next property. And the following month, come the next property, because we don't know how long this gravy train is going to last. So that's why we're now going as fast as we can. That's property package B.
The offer that we have out, and I think we have a down payment on this for Kansas City, is $325 a month for 180 months. So it's a 25% return.
So already 2 out of the 3 is sold for you.
So will be sold the
the Kansas one, for what have you sold the property for the rent to own?
It was like 33 something.
33,000?
Basically the
Yeah.
same thing.
And they're buying it for 12, is that right?
No.
You are.
You are buying.
Yeah,
it for-
yeah, I know, that's what I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're buying for 12 plus the, if you include the servicing fee and the buyer fee, you're paying
It's
16.
and you sold it for what?
33.
Okay. And the same with the one at the top there too, you have to resell that one, isn't it?
No, that one is already done, because there's already somebody, it's already done, your monthly payment
We
is
call this a
21%.
We call this a jump start. We're
Okay.
throwing one income
You're buying the
producing
note, not the
property
property.
in it already. And that's already got you a 21.3%
Yeah.
rate on
On
your
that
return.
one, you're buying the note, not the property. And this one, you're already buying the property, but you're not the property owner, you're the note holder when you, after we find
So it's
the
just-
seller.
yeah.
So in all three of them, you'll become the note holder. That's why you don't have any, if somebody falls in your house, does the bank responsible for that?
No.
So you're the banker. So in this low-income housing, let them do whatever. They have insurance. So if it burns down, who gets the money back?
You do,
Right.
the note
You do.
holder.
Yeah.
Good question. If you want to give them an incentive to pay you off on that note, you can say the face value is, the principal is 33.
33.
You can discount it to them for 29,000, right, or something, right?
Any day and twice on Sunday.
And then they can just pay you and get a regular FHA loan, right?
So from that point is we're again, if we're taking it slow, is now next phase is when these buyers go into the house. From day one, we start a credit repair program for them. So from day one, they start cleaning their credit. So maybe in a year, 2 years from now, instead of seasoning the loan and getting a discount, you refi. So there's no discount of 29. When they refi, you get the whole thing paid off. And wouldn't they be better off also at 12%? At 12%, their payment was $399. That payment is at a 12%. So if they could get even an 8% loan,
Oh, they want to get out, right?
they want to get out fast.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't really have to discount your note.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't
I
have
would say,
discount.
yeah, what am I talking about?
The interest is motivation enough.
Interest is motivation.
About how much is the house worth?
Well, let me put it this way. At the time we bought it and put the people in there, it would not have appraised at what we sold it for. But if you look at the payment, often it's at the top of the market. Even with our low payment, it ends up being at the top of the market. Once they make the improvements and they've been back, the lights are on, they're living in the house for a year, all of a sudden, guess what? We recorded in the meantime this number, right? So now instead of a house that the realtor said I can't sell for $5,000 for the bank, or $19,000, now all of a sudden it's recorded as sold for this, right?
Yeah.
A year later, what's that going to be worth now that the lights are on, there's landscaping, the house is bright, and it's back in the world of the real?
50, huh?
Now all of a sudden, I think there'll be a 30 to 40% equity in that house for the people in there. You think they're going anywhere? You think they're not motivated to refi or correct their
So that's why you
credit?
keep it for a year, huh?
Yes, longer. My question.
Yeah, season it,
I
dude.
I was wondering if you're offering them any help in repairing their credit.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That
We
we're
have just,
we're
we're
instituting.
rolling
That's
it
it.
out, on that same website, we're probably gonna have that as a click. But we're working with a company that we're basically, you could send them right to a website and they'll work
With
with
the
them.
credit
They're
repair.
phenomenal.
You have a question in the back? Anybody?
All right, so let's look at a,
Back and see.
So this is a duplex, we just sold this. This is an actual, so a lot of our buyers on the occupied side are, I'd say 75% of them are gonna be occupying the property, maybe even a little higher than that. This guy is a real estate investor in Chicago, and he's actually interested in buying a few others that we have. And so he negotiated well, but we still got, so our payments, our term's shorter, but we kept the monthly payment up to get the return to where we want it to be. So that'll be a quicker payoff, but he's a much more qualified buyer. So he's actually going to take this duplex that's nothing to write home about and make it livable and rentable. So for him, he gets a great deal because he's paying you $225 a month, and he's renting out each side for $400 or more. But you're still
Fixing
getting
it up.
and fixing it up and rehabbing it. But you're getting a 20% return still. So, That's good. And then this is the Jacksonville one that I mentioned I was at yesterday. How a couple people just came up to me right on the lawn. So we literally just got that. These other two we haven't even been to. We don't even know what we bought, but those were on the April Auckland.
Is that
list.
Rosemont in Cincinnati?
Yeah, Rosemont in Cincinnati, and then High Street in Hartford City.
You had Alan go by the house in Cincinnati?
And it's not even on the list. I have a Cincinnati property. If you're into multi-unit, I have a 7-unit property that's a real cash cow. And so we specialize in single family. That's what we do.
How much?
Okay,
I'm
so
making a good deal on it.
yeah, and I have it's a private buyer, seller, extremely motivated, and if I show you the return on that, it is off the chart. It is off the chart return, and I'll show you, but I'm just saying these are the things that once you become a client, and I understand you that you can look out for multifamily, it's not going to be on the list, but I'm going to send it to you. Hey, I just got one, and I called,
Well,
and I have people.
duplexes and triplexes and fourplexes.
Yeah,
on
those are
Broadway.
considered residential. These are 7 units. That's a commercial unit. Gorgeous, and one already 3 units are rented. Those 3 units will pay for the whole thing many times over and with profit. And then now you rent the other 2, and actually the 4th one already just passed Section 8. Just there is no tenant yet starting, so it's going to be next month for the 4th one, and then the 3 more. And those 3, what he did is he combined. They're all 2 bedrooms, and he combined them one into a 4-bedroom, 2-bath unit. Took the wall down, so he gets more as a family, and you get that's on the 3rd floor. So that's another. Just Cincinnati just reminded me. Just came back.
A manager's unit.
And there is a one guy who manages it for $100, and I mean he pays $100 a month so he gets a discount. Manages the whole thing.
Does the physical work and costs.
Don't do that though.
Yeah.
Have him pay you full rent and you can remit it back to him. You kill off your cap rate when you give away the free unit. Don't do that.
Actually, he's been doing that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I say the net was 100. He does it that way.
All right.
Question.
And then here.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. I just want to evaluate what's the risk. Is that possible some property is totally empty land and no structure?
No, sir. And if you ended up, and we do buy vacant land, but if it's vacant and something's happening, we're going to replace that property for you. If something happens while we're getting to that property, we're not going to sell you a house for $12,000, and if it turns out to be a lot, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, we had a client buy a package from Nation Star, bought 7 homes. We sent our site rep out. The house that we actually bought was demoed, and we didn't know that. So our site rep went into the house next door to it, inside, and rekeyed it and put our sign up and everything. So that happens sometimes. My dad is convinced.
Don't go there. I've done it a few times
Yeah.
myself.
He in Atlanta, he went to someone's house. He got
Don't
East
go there.
Boulevard instead of West Boulevard, and he convinced the poor guy that we owned his house, and he was ready to pack up and move out. And then that happens sometimes. You know,
Did he
when-
pay you rent?
He was ready. He was ready. And then my wife called me and says, "You're in the wrong house." I was helping him do the paperwork on the spot.
So when you say that if it's empty land and you replace another property, but
Yes,
is that in
yes.
writing?
Yes.
By-
And in this case, remember, I'm not into transactional relationship, like transactional income. I'm into relational income. So that Jim bought 3 houses, he's back here. If I did not serve him well, will he come back here? And so we have people from 2006 that have been doing this business. And we do have, you'll see land. We just sold in Tampa to a lady a package of 10 lots. These are at a resort. And we said there are 10 lots. She goes, I'll take all 10. She just jumped on the 10 lot because these lots have already, it's in a resort community. So she understood that a resort community land, she can sell it, and they were for like, how much?
Let Ken Keller. I don't remember what they were.
It's
all
about
over
$1,000 on average. What did she end up?
She
Per lot.
$2,000 per lot.
$2,000 per lot. This is like a $10,000 lot community. So even if she on a
Developed.
bad day,
Developed.
Yeah, so do it. So you'll see lots, but they will show right there that it's a land.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we.
So
If
you,
you have
you
a
will
lot-
know that you're buying. If
If
you're
we
interested
thought-
in buying,
If we think we're selling you a house and it's land, we'll make it right.
yeah.
So
And then
if it's
you are
house
interested in buying
prices
land,
for
I can
vacant
also
land.
show you the reason. Number one reason people don't buy land is because of what?
No income.
No income. I will show you how to buy these lots and create income every day and twice on Sunday. All of them on lot. So on
Parking
lots,
area.
that's the reason why. It's not just because I have a friend. Because remember I said that the Winner Circle Guru Mastermind. I have a master guru that and all he does is his specialty is buying these
Oh,
lots and
jackpot.
selling. I'll give you the exact ad, just like Jim was talking about. You place this ad this way and you create cash.
Parking lots, for parking?
No,
No?
no.
On
So
lot.
that's another
raw
seminar.
land.
To answer your question though, I don't think it's in our contract, but we certainly can put it in there. I mean, if you're worried, if that's a concern of yours.
Yeah, because
we're-
it's the first time we're dealing with you.
Sure, so we have no problem putting that in the contract, because especially now that we're selling some property we haven't even gotten to yet, that could be a potential, because it could look perfectly fine and nothing be on the record, and all of a sudden, you know, it happens. And I've actually had lenders that are, the cities took the wrong property down. And that's kind of nice, because they gotta pay it back with it, you know, and
It's
then
like,
some.
I
had
mean,
a
the doctor have to take the wrong leg.
I bought a place once where the note was being
And these were not
foreclosed
that
on,
bad.